What's up, guys? Hopefully all of you are doing well. Today we're just going to be frying some fresh fish along with a few shrimp that I threw in, and I'm going to show you a few different ways to do it. I'm also going to show you how to make a homemade tartar sauce. Let's get into it. To start, we're going to be making my homemade tartar sauce. Believe it or not, I used this recipe years ago in my other fried fish video and never really wrote this recipe down, so I'm going to get that out the way today. I have some green onions that I've chopped, some capers, some minced garlic, dill relish, not sweet relish, and some fresh dried parsley, or you can use some dried basil if you want to. And we're just going to put that into the mayonnaise. For those of you who don't know what capers look like, this is what they look like. They are in a brine, in a jar, and they're sold on the aisle with the other pickled items like your pickles and relishes. And what I do is just kind of chop them up a little bit more fine, and I put it in with the mayonnaise. For the exact measurements to this recipe, be sure and check out gdseasoning.com. The link will be in the description below the video and pinned in the comments. You can season up the tartar sauce any way you like. Just be cautious of your salt, as always, because you have two items in there that contain sodium. That's the capers and the dill relish. I also added a little bit of fresh lemon juice, which I like to do. You don't have to do that, but I did put it on the recipe just in case you wanted to do so. So today I'm using rockfish in this recipe. You can use any type of fish you want, by the way. It's up to you. Red snapper is not in season, but this is definitely a cousin to red snapper. It's very meaty, but the downside is it has a lot of bones, or at least a lot of bones were left in this fillet. So I had to run my hand down the fillet to feel those bones and pick those out. If you're gonna have children eating the fish with you, please be cautious of the bones. Try to pull them out before you prepare the fish. Another thing too, yes, I'm going to cut my fish on the bias. I like to have small pieces of fish so I can dip them. But I do realize some people like to fry their fish whole, the whole fillet, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Next, I'm going to season up the fish as you normally would. You can do that to your own taste. You can use anything you like. And I also used shrimp in this video because I wanted you guys to see that you can use this same method and mixture on shrimp also. For the dredge, we're going to be using yellow cornmeal along with some all-purpose flour and some cornstarch. I also use some dried parsley, but you can use any type of dried herbs that you like. And you can season it up how you want. And just still, again, I want you to be cautious of the salt content that you're using, because however this dredge tastes before you coat the fish with it is how it's going to taste when it's cooked. So yes, I am saying to taste your meal. Just take a small clean spoon, put a little bit on the end and taste it to see if it's seasoned to your liking. You've put worse things in your mouth besides this, and I'm talking about like raw eggs and things that people worry about. Giving this meal a taste is not going to hurt you, especially if it's getting ready to save all of the fish from being too salty. So I'm going to take my dredge and I'm just going to put some of the fish directly in it, because I was thinking some people are going to ask me how this dredge performs without egg, even though I built it around egg, the use of egg. So I did that. And so I dredged a few pieces directly into the dredge, no egg. All right. So you'll see the result of that in a minute. Then I took the remaining fish and the shrimp, dredged it in some egg, just beat a couple of eggs that are seasoned. Pour it right over the fish, and I also dredged the shrimp in the egg too. Just make sure they're nice and coated, and then I'm going to take it right through the cornmeal dredge. And once you dredge it with the cornmeal, make sure to tap off all of the excess cornmeal. And just as a side note, I've also seen people coat their fish with a little bit of buttermilk. And so if you don't have egg, you could probably go with some of that also. That'll help the breading adhere to the fish. So I went down with the first fish that we breaded into some hot canola oil over medium-high heat in my cast iron enamel Dutch oven, and I'm just going to fry it. Fish does not take that long to fry. I think this took maybe about 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and this is the batch with no egg. And this is why this video was late. I was not happy with the result with this particular mixture with no egg. And so when you look at it, yeah, it's crispy and it has a really thin coating, but I do like my coating a little bit thicker, not too thick, but like crispy, you know, a crispy exterior. So this was the batch of fish with the egg, which is the perfect coating. I love it. But I still wasn't happy with the first batch, especially for the people who don't want to use eggs. So I went back and I did some more. We'll see that in a minute. This is the shrimp, and the shrimp was fried a double batter because some of you like double batter. So let's talk about the first. The first fish that we did was no egg dipped in the cornmeal mixture that I wasn't happy with. The second was the actual fish that I liked, and we used it with egg and we dipped it in our cornmeal mixture. Love the result. Nice crispy exterior, not too thick. The shrimp were dipped in the cornmeal mixture, then dipped in egg, and then back into the cornmeal mixture to give you that double breading if some people like that. I don't particularly care for that, but I know some of you do, so there's your result. So for those of you who don't like egg, what I did was I went back and I reformulated the cornmeal mixture. So it's only just cornmeal and a little bit of flour. And then for my wet dredge, I used some hot sauce, but you don't have to do that. And then you put it through the cornmeal mixture. So just dip it in the cornmeal mixture with no egg, you'll be fine. I fried it till it was nice and crispy. And matter of fact, I left it down in the oil a little bit longer so you can have that crispy exterior. Don't worry, I've included some of the tips and the tricks that I've done in this video on the written recipe so you're not lost. I gave both of the methods a try. They were really crispy. And like I said, this recipe is really easy. It's more about the method that you use to fry your fish. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this recipe. I thank you so much for joining me. You know I appreciate it when you come cook with me and hang out. Don't forget, this recipe and others can be found at gdseasoning.com. And I'll see you guys next time.